Welcome to what is likely, probably, at this point, possibly, the final part of the Hayseed Knight. I know I kept you hanging a little bit yesterday, but we should, probably, be finishing this today. So we are on day 13 of chapter 5, the only chapter that's introduced this choose what you want to do every day kind of mechanic. Will there be kissing? I hope so. I hope so. I'm currently covering it, but my current task just says do what you can. I can't even get out the way far enough. It just says do what you can. And currently, we only have Eka available. So I guess we're going to go see Tall Lady. Ada stomped his way across the filthy underside of the capital one last time. He'd memorized the way by now, but he was absolutely going to reach the ship no matter what it took. Eka looked up lazily from the shell necklace she was tying together. It was evident that she'd just been making some time until his inevitable arrival.
If you're here to get Aina back, you're going to have to go through my whole crew, Bones.
No, I'm here to see you this time. Pertok said a whole lot of stuff, but one thing really stuck with me, and I'm not going to rest till I get this whole thing straight.
Thank you very much,
What was
Goss.
all that about Pertok saying you ain't his daughter?
Your tier 3 sub, on top of the regular sub bombs you give here, you're still first place for subs gifted by a considerable hecking margin. Oh, sorry, Davis, you're not allowed to lurk for 8 seconds because apparently I put a cooldown on lurking. No, it's fine, it's fine. You look after yourself. Thanks for being here. Okay, how are we gonna manage this?
Oh, well, that was just his opinion, of course. I'm Eka, and Eka is the daughter of Pertok. So I guess he means that I'm not the Eka that Aina knew.
Silence. Eka looked eagerly at Ada, awaiting his reaction. Oh, no worries, Davis. I'm always here when I can be. Hopefully I don't get kicked out anytime soon.
Then who the hey?
I told you, I am Eka. The great Eka. The only Eka. Just the great 20th or 30th or 40th. You get where I'm going. Maths are hard.
I agree, they are.
Souls and names. Names and souls. Some fight their destiny, but if the moon says I'm Eka, who am I to argue? I let myself be molded into what the pack said I was meant to be. It's an honor to be the first wolf to be named since the beginning of time. The bringer of words and knowledge, Tessica of Basaksarat. That should have been plenty grand a title for me, wouldn't you say? I should have been content with just that. But the more I thought about it, the smaller I felt within this name. I didn't want to be just another body in the cycle. So I thought, no, I'm not going to be just an Eka. I will be the Eka. I will be so great that mine will be the face the pack thinks of when they think of her. And here we are now. That makes me a fake, I suppose.
Ada moved his mouth senselessly. He needed a moment to process all this information.
You think Aina knew?
Eka's energy deflated a little. She sat back again.
See, that's the tricky part, Bones. You know my sister. She's not the best with the concept of change. And I bet you felt up close how good my family is at handling feelings. Any of them. Except murderous fury, maybe. Dad wasn't exaggerating. The legends talk about Aina snapping. Destroying everything indiscriminately. Just a mass of rage. But the first Eka never witnessed any of it. She was sent away and died without Aina's knowledge. So someone figured, hey, let's not tell the catastrophe about that whole miserable life and death cycle business. And maybe she won't kill us all.
Ada thought for a moment. He felt a sense of dread looming over him.
Should you be telling me all these things?
I don't know, pup. Is there any particular reason I shouldn't?
Secrets ain't meant to be shared.
Says who? Your gods? Is it written in a deer book? Can you show me the exact line?
You just shouldn't. That ain't stuff for you to tell.
We're all good then. It's my secret, and I'm telling you because I want to.
Eka looked at Ada with her usual patient unreadability. She put a hand on Ada's hair and patted the top of his head very softly.
You deer have so many years to live and thrive, yet you waste them. You in particular. I hear you had dreams too. I like people who dream. Makes me feel less arrogant. Maybe that's why I'm so sweet on you. This Eka won't live to see your dreams come true. Aina, though, no matter how many lifetimes pass, how many times she's reset back anew, Aina'll always be Aina, no matter what Aina she is. She will see you in all the years to come. I may even be a little jealous.
I wonder what she means by reset. I want to learn more about Aina.
Wait. Walk that back. What's that whole resetting business you've been talking about? Is that what Pertok's been doing to her?
If we're playing by your rules, then we're playing by your rules, man. That secret is not mine to tell. Aina'll let you know when she wants you to know.
She can't really tell me anything.
Can't? You're way smarter than that, Bones. Words aren't the only way to communicate. You've known her for a while, haven't you? Do you really think she wouldn't be able to find a way to share something if she tried?
No, you're right. That's on me. I didn't do enough to ask, or made a real effort to understand her. But I'm changing that now.
Thanks, Susie.
I'll be someone worthy of Aina when she's back.
That's a good pup. Go get started on that. We don't have time to waste.
Ooh. I got an achievement for learning Eka's secret. Right, well, all we have is Burbiff, so hello, Burbiff. Sometimes when Burbiff's voice slurred down to a mumble and Ada's forehead started feeling heavy, our protagonist found his attention drawn to the walls around him. Burbiff was keen on mentioning the names of great thinkers. Geoff constantly invoked the name of his father with pride as a legendary musician, and Sepp never hesitated to drop a name if it belonged to someone powerful. Ada had always thought that builders were neat, and liked to spend a long time observing all sorts of buildings. He couldn't read Cernar, much less Basaktet, but he'd come to recognize mason marks, and immediately spotted their signatures in these walls. It suddenly hit Ada that bricks and words had a lot in common. One little brick, one little letter at a time. Together, they would last hundreds of years.
Hey, Burbiff?
Burbiff sat down the vial he was manipulating. He sent a confused look in Ada's direction, unconsciously picking up the concern in his voice.
What is it, friend?
I knew your father.
Ada turned his face briskly away, unable to even look at Burbiff as he revealed this.
Oh, and?
Huh? And nothing. I knew your pa.
So I gathered, quite a while ago. It wouldn't make sense for a peasant outside Corbusui to speak in such certain terms about my father. So I figured you must have met him during his last days in Chanthery.
I wonder about that, you know? I don't know if I met him anymore. I mean, the man I keep hearing about ain't nothing like the man I thought I knew.
Burbiff opened his mouth and then closed it. He took a hand to his chin and started pacing around the workshop. This brought a tiny smile to Ada's face. Burbiff was seriously giving the next words some thought.
Ada, my father was most decidedly not a good man. He was a good knight, perhaps. Everything one is supposed to be. But not even that could save him from his wretchedness. Punishment was barely a sentence for a life of evil deeds. And yet, if it is as you say, the pain of losing it all perhaps was something like the frustration of learning for my father. He may have realized the wrongs he committed far too late, or shown you a side of him he'd never shown anyone else. We could fill an endless amount of libraries with all the things we'll never know. But I know for a fact that meeting him left a positive impact on you. That much is not up for discussion.
Yep.
What do you think about some juice?
Thank you,
Stop
Lauren.
slouching.
But if he was a bad man...
Then he would be a bad man that did a handful of good things in his life. Fortunately, unlike most of them, he got his comeuppance. And now he is dead. Your opinion hardly makes a difference anymore. If you'd asked me to assure you he was good, or to nod if you spoke well of him, that would have been an entirely different matter. Don't you agree? I don't believe we owe any particular compassion to the departed.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? They're dead. Say what you want. They're not gonna stop you. Unless they raise as a zombie.
So you don't believe in not speaking ill of the dead, huh?
Look, if someone doesn't want to be spoken ill of when they die, they shouldn't be an arsehole when they're alive. That's my belief.
No, of course not. I'll speak of them as they were. You two will remember him as you will. But do not turn your sight away from the truth, Ada. Only the living remain.
Only they hurt.
Burbif nodded eagerly. He stopped dead mid-nod, a revelation written all over his face.
Of course! Feeling! Feeling is the realm of the living! Our emotions are driven by chemicals, are they not? Perhaps such stasis is the result of not facing this truth. We could induce her to feel.
Burbif wandered away, muttering epiphanies that made very little sense to Ada's ears.
I'm gonna leave you to it then. You got this, pal.
No reading lesson today? Oh. Chances are Ada would never finish understanding Burbif, and Burbif would never finish saying things that were near impossible to understand to anyone but him. One day, perhaps, Sep would be around and in a good enough mood to translate between the two. But today they understood each other a little more. That was enough to keep the world moving, for now. Okay. Hey, Burbif. I knew your dad. Cool. He's dead now. Skill issue. Lol. And now it is just Illigrab. Oh, and there's only one choice. Neither Zhao or Burbif held it against Ada when he spent hours sitting in front of a silent flame. But he did. He held it against himself. There was so much more he could be doing. Wasn't he just slacking off? Wasn't all of this just an excuse to avoid mingling with the rest? Sep never answered, alas. Ada's ears kept flicking left and right, despite his best efforts to stay asleep. They wouldn't stop moving on their own, even though he couldn't hear a single thing. But wait, perhaps if he strained his ears enough, he could hear some kind of whistling? No, not quite. Its rhythm. It sounded almost like a deep breath. Ada dared to open his eye at last. And there she was, the absent owner of the forge. Aina had somehow found her way back to the temple, despite everything. And she wasn't the only one. A polite knock on a second-floor metal plank told Ada all he needed to know about the caller outside. Illigrab smiled through the only sliver that could be seen of him beyond the colonnade.
Ada, my lad! I meant to drop by and check up on you, but I see you're already in good company. Aina! I was wondering where in the world you'd wandered off this time. I'm so happy to find you reunited with your sweetheart. Oh, love truly trumps all.
I mean, I have no idea how she got here, but I'm not going to argue it.
Not thanks to you.
Nope, not thanks to me. You're not wrong about that.
Illigrab squinted the tiny golden drops he had for eyes into something vaguely resembling a forced smile.
Speaking of reunions, Elbar's been asking a lot about you lately. It seems he's had quite the change of heart, however. Instead of screaming about the one-eyed scoundrel he so loves to hate, he's been sighing about a certain Sir Upperfield.
The look Eligrab sent in Ada's direction was enough to fill volume.
Oh, come on! You gonna tell me it's a crime to pretend to be someone else now?
It quite literally is, Ada.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. But you already know that, don't you?
This silence was so heavy that Ada forgot how to breathe.
You know, Adder, I've never been any good at improvising like you are. It's a talent I didn't sprout with. What I do is plan every situation far, far ahead. I gather all the knowledge I can, and then I try to be prepared. And as I was preparing for the 45 ways I could go about this conversation, I thought, Adam mentioned he was drafted to serve under Lord Thumar's command, didn't he? Wasn't that the fort that was trampled a couple years ago? How could a soldier from a foreign province pass as a refugee so easily? Cue my surprise when I found out that the only 3 Addison, son of Gerfath, we have records of in the last decade were safely relocated to Scilly and Chappie with their families and never served any time near the southern frontier.
Is his name not Ada?
Say what? Ha! Lousy letters. You skipped my name.
Wrong answer.
Darn it all right! You got me. I didn't want to say it in front of Aina, okay? I wasn't a soldier. I was just bluffing.
Don't try me, boy.
My parents forgot to tell anyone I was born?
Are you done yet?
What are you exactly waiting for me to say, Eligrab? That Adderson, son of your father, the upper field, is a deserter and a liar? That the one truth he said was that he was no one at all? You're gonna have to wring the rest out of my dead body.
As I said, I'm impressed. Addison is truly a man of his own invention, and that takes courage. It takes a great deal of strength to turn around one day and be the person you decided you wanted to be. I vastly underestimated you, kiddo. It won't happen again.
Eligrab rapped his knuckles against the column, with a strength he usually handled better.
You're still not gonna arrest me?
Arrest you? For being a better liar than I expected?
For the long list of crimes I've committed?
I'm going to let you in on a little secret I've spent many years cultivating among friends, Adder. A peacemaker is no law enforcer. I don't belong to the army either. I mediate, negotiate, and veil for the peace in this kingdom. Do you understand? I have the unique and exclusive privilege of deciding what peace means. And I refuse to live a peace where I have to pretend the law is capable of respecting anyone its writer barely saw as people.
That's... wow, okay.
Those sure are some high and mighty words for what boils down to saying you're a huge liar.
You tried, Ada. You tried.
What? You never wondered why I liked you so much? I saw a tiny young me in you, lad. From the very first moment I felt how much love you held for Aina, I knew you were someone I could trust. Someone smart enough to acknowledge differences, yet still look for the best in others. Good people are as good people do, Adder. Be a good boy. Help me make this city a better place, and I'll be there putting out fires by your side, just like we always used to.
Something clasped Ada's heart as he watched the tree turn. His mouth spoke of its own.
Hey, Eligrab? What's a carnivore?
Eligrab stopped walking. He turned around with his huge smile plastered across his face.
Why, someone who eats horns, of course. I have to return to my duties. You take care now, lad. I'll be watching your show from afar.
Right, okay. Ada sent one last look in Aina's direction before lying back down on his bed. He knew she wouldn't be there when he woke up.
I beg you, just a few more days. That's all I need. I can make them understand.
At dawn, this ends.
Oh dear. Iligrab gaped helplessly.
As you wish, my king.
Ada opened his eye in the middle of the night, hours before daybreak. The voices in his dream had quieted down at last, though far too late to get any rest. He propped himself up against the coal heap and looked around. His mouth felt dry, and his head light. Pins and needles ran through his skin. There was something off about this darkness. It had a different texture than the nights before. Where were the crickets? They'd all fallen to the cold as the clouds started their march back into the city. Somewhere in the great garden of Ahimai, locked away from the rest of the world, a sacred tree had just changed to its yellow dress. Bleak night was just about to start, and the change in seasons never failed to awaken old, unwanted memories. Tales of an unlucky farmer whose life was ruined beyond repair.
Adder.
2 years of unending nightmares in a city that didn't know his name.
Nope, I'm going back to sleep.
No, you're not. On your feet, soldier. Grab your helmet and meet me behind the library. We need to get moving.
What? Wow, what? No, we're not. Moving where? What's going on?
Iligrab fidgeted for a moment.
The king has agreed to a parley on the matter of the Barhan Revolution. We won't have another chance like this.
For real? Give me a moment. I'm gonna wake you.
No. The spotlight is on you this time, boy.
Uh-oh.
Say what? No. That don't sound like you, Iligrab. You're always saying I don't gotta speak over people. You want me to just speak for him now? I'm a deer, in case you hadn't noticed.
And so I have to bring you. The king will not meet with anyone but one of yours. Not without a sword to their necks.
Right, so bring someone else who won't end up getting his head cut all the same.
You think I wouldn't have done that if I could? There's no one else, Addison! Would you rather I bring Burbeth instead? Or would you have me bring Zhao to the court?
It was perfectly easy to picture Zhao walking up to the king, a well of good intentions, about to be bled dry.
Lad, come on. I beg you. It's a very knightly situation, isn't it? Your one chance to spring forward and do what's right for the people you love. Isn't that what you wanted all along?
You really think me being there is gonna change anything?
It could change the world right now.
All right. Give me a moment to get dressed, and I'll be right there with you.
Just a safety save.
Bless you, Adder. I knew I could count on you.
But I'm going to do what I feel is right. For thousands of years, since Dia built temples with mud and straw and knew nothing of the secrets of iron, the great Alcafar of Heirloom had presided over the city in some form, looking over it from its own island just yards away from the coast. Ada had seen the palace loom over the mists of dawn before. It made it seem like it was floating, and now he floated too. Ada had never expected to walk the royal pathway willingly and freely, to be afforded entrance with a mere, "He's with me," or "Let Sir Upperfield through." The city that had seemed so endless when he first set foot on the gate of Idas now seemed so simple under his feet. The sea roaring below the bridge, the palace standing proudly in front of him, the fires flaring up in the towers above. Ada would never forget this sight. It would never grow old. But then again, seeing the route they were taking, neither would he.
I need you on your best behavior now. You're about to meet the king. Kneel when I kneel. Whatever I say, don't look at me. And for the love of Baitatse and all the gods, don't say a single word out of turn.
Panic. Ada grasped at the hem of his coat as door after door was pushed open before him. Marble halls. A word out of turn. Marble halls, colonnades of splendor, intricate carvings on every single wall, deeper and deeper through the marvels, until at last they arrived at their destination. green. Green and yellow and red, and every colour of flower and fruit Ada could name, roaming freely around a vibrant garden, perpetually kept in dawn soon inside. They were led ahead by rivers at the sides of the room, joining together in the centre a circular pond surrounding the raised platform that crowned the room. 4 columns, holding up the most important curtain in the entire world. And within it, a silhouette.
My king.
You perturb us yet again, Sith of Puntalos. There had better be a good reason.
Yes, my king. I have brought a guest you may want to speak to.
May? You mean... You've made me think this was organized.
Want? Oh, we don't recall requesting anything of the sort. Do you presume to understand our own desires better than ourselves?
No, my king. I am merely working according to my position. I am your humble peacemaker, and it is to further this peace that I bring another voice to you.
So what you seek is to influence our decision, now that we made our intentions clear to you. How very arrogant of you, Illigrab. You bring nothing but shame upon your father's work.
Ada was sure that he'd heard a deep sniff from the other side of the curtain.
Ah, Hadir. You know well that the oath to our patron compels us. Your mansuetude betrays a cunning mind. And yet, is this truly a deer? Yes, you must be. But your scent...
Am I stinky?
You've meddled so brazenly with gods and curses and... him. Why does he smell like Omagepseb? We saw the gods fall upon him. No, that's not all. How can it be? Scent?
What?
No. We ripped his core with our own fangs, and we drank all the blood from his body. He cannot be in this world.
Who? Who's got a freaking forbidden name here?
Who is this dear Illigrab? Why does he smell of immortals?
I'm afraid I don't know who you speak of, my king. But Addison is a good friend of Pertok and his daughter.
Oh, yes. Our dear Despertok. We sense his misery upon you. That could explain it well.
The king huffed, as if trying to get the smell out of his nose.
We are the company we keep indeed. What an interesting creature you have brought to us, and he hasn't even opened his mouth yet.
High King Isifik's silhouette shifted slightly behind the curtain.
Law is our word, and our word is law. As we have spoken, it shall be done. But we remain curious. Let this strange deer come closer. We shall hear his words before we have both your heads cut for such insolence.
Adam made to turn his head towards Illigrab, before immediately realizing that was forbidden. He heard Illigrab's leaves sough as the tree man nodded. The young deer walked, one foot after the other, towards the king. And though any peasant would have been overwhelmed walking towards someone with this much power, this was an entirely different matter. Isifik wasn't just a king, he was a savior to all Arcane. A religious figure on his own, the beast who betrayed his kind to protect the ruminants, he who was crowned by Baitat himself, a man above time. Oh gosh. We shall hear his words before we remove your heads. According to all known laws of aviation, bees should not be able to fly. Good thing no one told them that. According to all known laws of aviation, it is perfectly understood why bees fly. I know you're doing the bit, though. Someone just didn't bother researching when they made a certain movie. Now I will tangent into a 2-hour rant on why the bee movie did not research its science.
What is it you seek, child?
Your Majesty, I want what everyone could ever want, right? I want to live a good life. And I want everyone else to live a good life too. Please, leave my friends alone.
We are the world. We brought you wisdom when you crawled through the mire with no weapon but the antlers on your head. We freed you from those that could hurt you. We were brought upon this world to be your shepherd.
I was going to wait for the voice line to resolve before I said anything on the matter, but now I don't need to.
The shepherd of who?
What?
All right.
You said you're our shepherd. Who's that mean?
Adder, what are you doing?
We are the shepherd of all the earth. We shall guard you from all evil.
We are in a very important culmination of this story right here, and you're currently fighting over whether or not I go on a 2-hour rant about the bee movie. You realise it was a bit, right? I've not actually even seen the bee movie. So I'm just going to continue the game, okay?
So what about the rest? What about the Barhans? Or the Macadar? They're not your herd?
Of course not. They intruded upon our lands. They are the scum of Vecna, and we have tolerated them within our kingdom long enough.
Damn, you're like hyper racist.
That's radish stew.
Yeah.
Excuse you?
Is that how it's gonna go? They're new, so they don't count? That's radish stew. They didn't ask to be brought here. Not even the deer were supposed to be here. The beasts were sent after us because Botop made us an Imai's garden. You forgotten?
You insolent child. We were there.
Then what? You think life is a game of chairs? My ancestors kick your ancestors' asses so we get to be here? What gives you or anyone the right to say who gets to live their lives?
How dare you?
Why do you get to say our kingdom and they don't? Aren't you a beast?
No, he's not.
What?
Are we going to pull back the curtain and it's going to be a Wizard of Oz situation?
You know, I'm not happy we had to practice on Aina, but it really gave us an edge after all.
Why? How do you know?
Wait, does Aina have a forbidden name? Like a true name?
I should have bitten off your throat the second you dared to get my sister's name wrong.
You're dead naming Aina? Oh no, that's not going to stand.
Hilderob, what is happening? Who is this?
Oh. You are a beast. Look at those teeth, those claws. Our grand god king deer was never a deer at all.
That's okay. You don't need to know.
The entire crew of beasts sick on Isafik like fangs raining from the ceiling, from within the ponds and between the plants.
Just know that this is for Aina, you fossilized dung ball!
It is eyes. What's going on here?
Begone! We cast you away! We are immortal!
Kind of got like an Aina look to you, like they could be related.
My king! No!
The king's head rolled down the stairs to the platform like a heavy rock, leaving a trail of old blood behind. Ekka's teeth turned to Ada next. There didn't seem to be a hint of sanity within her eyes. Ekka leapt towards Ada, running on 4 legs and dripping blood all over her lips. Ilagrab slammed against her with his full body, barely managing to keep her fangs an inch away from his face.
I'll hold them off! Run!
No! Don't hurt her! Maybe we can still talk to...
Don't try to play hero now! Get away while you can! There's no reasoning with carnivores!
You do know what they are.
With... what?
Ada stopped running. He turned around and looked at the scene in front of him.
Ada? What are you doing? Run, you fool! They'll...
You're the bear man.
Oop, jig's up.
What? The wolf dropped down from Ilagrab's hand to a sigh that could have blown the whole building away.
Would it kill you to wait to do things as you're told just once, Ekka?
Ekka shrugged with the nonchalance that colored everything she did.
Hey, I thought he knew from the beginning. I wasn't sure if that was classified information.
It was.
Ilagrab squinted the tiny golden drops he had for eyes into something vaguely resembling a forced smile.
Oh, let me guess. I slipped and said carnivore again. Fancy word, isn't it? I always thought that beast sounded really derogatory. Not the kind of thing you'd say to a friend's face, though this one insists on calling me a bear.
Can y'all please cut the crap now? The king is dead! What's gonna happen to the folks in the temple?
That'll depend on what you want to do with that information, pup. Then again, what could you even do? Who could you possibly tell?
Ada bit the inside of his cheek. Who indeed?
I'm sorry, Ada. There are bigger things than you. Bigger things than them happening. Something so
Hey,
big,
Lennon.
mortal lives with very little
here
in
now.
comparison. But you're a smart lad. You already knew that, didn't you?
Welcome in. We're pretty much in the ending of the Hayseed Knight, so spoiler warning to anyone who wants to play this lovely, queer-coded visual novel. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it. Lennon, if you'd like to link us one of your favorite clips, we can watch it on stream together so everyone can get a taster of what they're in for with your content. But yeah, go buy this game. Go buy this game. Go leave a review. Support indie developers. It's great. Yeah. But yeah, full spoiler warning. We're near the end of chapter 5, the final chapter. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't have to, by the way, Lennon, if you don't want to, but if you do want to drop a link, we can watch it together. I can try it through Sidekick, but it tends to be fussy with newer clips, so I can just bring up Twitch and we can watch it there.
Flattery ain't gonna get you nowhere with me. What's the big idea?
Right, recent means it probably won't work. But never mind, Panda tried anyway. Let me bring it up on Twitch. Since Twitch changed their clip API and how it all works, it's broken a lot of clip players. Right, let me just get it up here.
What is this room? It's the playroom
Oh no,
for
I'm
dogs.
covering linen. Look at this goblin! Look at this goblin!
He's enjoying it, right?
Heckin' wobble dogs. Go follow that goblin. Yeah, that's why yours is broken. Twitch changed how clips work on their end, and not everyone's caught up to it yet. So it's not your clip player. It's Twitch. As usual. Right. Linen, cute, and friend-shaped. Would agree.
I'm sorry, didn't I make myself clear enough? I said it's bigger than a mortal's life. That includes yours, last time I checked.
Come on, don't be mean to Bones. He's cool. I'm sure he'll understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. You literally bit the king's head off. That's That's sick, honestly. I'm all for that. Down with the monarchy, etc.
What would you say if I asked you to serve a new country, Adder?
What?
You brought beasts to put Sepp in the throne?
Goodness, no. I've known Little Miss Ego since she spoke like this. Thor was a gem, but she raised a clod.
Oof.
No, I am asking you to dream of something different. I want you to imagine a land with no kings or queens.
Wait.
A world where we are all truly equal.
You're gonna go nap. You've been live since Monday morning. You get your heckin' rest. Make sure you're eating and drinking enough as well. And I hope you have a solid plan for this, Illigrab, because it sounds a little idealistic from the get-go, but I'm down for it. No gods, no masters. Like, I'm down.
Where nobles can't do whatever they want?
Think bigger yet. A world where money can't bend the rules. A world where the law won't look down on you for being anything but a deer. A world where you are free to be a person, not just a list of traits.
Yeah, no, all this is sounding really good.
I'd say that sounds like a whole load of nothing, Illigrab. How are you going to achieve that?
But yeah, I am questioning how it's going to work.
It's back to basics, of course. We will eat the rich.
Screenshot. Based Eka. And she means it literally.
That one of them metaphors?
Meta what?
Adder, I want to properly introduce you to our old and new compatriots. The hurricane that Agathor needed to shake the chains that have kept us all grounded for centuries. The children of Aimai, carnivores.
You're some type of beast too, then?
No! How many times are we gonna go over this? I am a tree deer man. I'm literally a fur.
Hey, I'm not judging. You say you're a tree deer man. I support you living your best life.
Aww. Okay, I really like Eka. I like everyone in this heckin' game. How would you like to serve a new country, Adder? What? Hell no, you killed the kings. You killed the king, you murderers. Adder, you will serve under me, and you will like it. Yes, ma'am. Gosh, hecky, Lauren. Illigrab sighed. He then assumed a more royal stance.
The storm will not be stopped. You can sail with us, or you can drown.
You really mean to threaten me into joining y'all, Illigrab? All the stuff you've been saying lately. It don't sound like you at all. I thought you were one of the good guys.
What would you know about good and bad, Adder?
And who are you to decide who is and who isn't? That's exactly the same as what the king was doing.
You're still just a fawn deep down. A tiny, naive sprout to 104 years of age. I have traveled the world, and I have had quite some time to think about
Just
all
have a
that I
sip of
saw.
water.
I will have a drink, thank you.
I truly love you all from the bottom of my wooden, sappy heart. I have strived my whole life to become a better me with each passing day. But what I get in exchange is a kingdom where those who aren't deer are treated as less than shrubs. You let your horns speak for you, and yet you laugh at those who won't fit your perception of who should have them. You abuse them. You feel the need to put them in their place, to be thankful for their precarious situation. I haven't dared sire a child after seeing Rose stepping on poor helpless sprouts far to the south and even eating them to the west. I don't wish any harm upon you personally. I've tried my best to keep you safe and walking a path of righteousness. But if letting you live means letting the kingdom suffer, then the world will have to do with one less deer.
Say you kill me. Then what, huh? You know this won't solve a thing. You think they're gonna believe for 1 second that a bunch of beasts killed the king? No! They're gonna blame the Barhans. That's just gonna make them suffer more. All the folks in the temple never had a chance to say they agreed with your idea. And after talking so high and mighty about getting stepped on by all the people in power, you really gonna sacrifice them too to some higher good?
Illigrab sighed, deflated from the looming presence he'd been just seconds before.
If you set foot outside this room, I'll have you killed. What will it be then?
A strange numbness crawled up Ada's neck. He could barely feel his face or his arms, forced by a pressure squeezing his very mind. Ada shut his eye and focused. This was it. A turning point in his life. A turning point in my save screen. I'll prove you wrong or blame me. For regicide? I'm leaning to I'll prove you wrong. You just say blame me because you like the face that's attributed to it. I'm going with this.
I don't care how you spin it. This ain't right. It's the same in the end. Someone's always pulling the threads behind the curtains. So what if Eka is trustworthy? What if you are? What if the next one that comes along ain't as nice? We're switching one problem for another in the end. And I won't live with more secrets, knowing I'm just leaving everyone exposed. You don't get to decide whose lives are worth saving and who gets to be fodder for your cause, Illigrab. You don't know us as well as you think you do. If anyone got to deal with the problems of the kingdom, it's the people who live here.
Seems a very Ada response.
Ain't nobody in this world gonna join a hypocrite like you.
Oh, you were so close. Oh, real good. Proud of you.
Then I suggest you start running.
Not that it'll do you much good.
He didn't need to be told twice. Ada ran faster than he ever knew he could, and yet the shadow with yellow eyes remained inches away from him. In a different world, in a different situation perhaps, he could have outrun her based on talent, but he was bound to his body, and it was broken in ways that would never heal again. He would never live to the fullest of his potential. All he could do to lighten his feet was lose the impression of dignity he'd found over the last few days.
Hey, Bones. I'm sorry it had to come to this. No hard feelings, right? We've always known this was how it was going to go down in the end.
Ada shoved a pedestal down and turned around a corner in the purposefully deserted corridors. He knew that she was herding him again, just like the first time they met, exactly to where she wanted him to be.
For what it's worth, I really liked you. Really, really liked you. I'm kind of glad I get to hunt you, though. It's like a bonding experience. I get to be exactly as I am in your last moments, and you get the beast you feared. We don't need to pretend anymore.
I brought you almonds. Ada rammed straight into a door, hoping for anything at the other side. Surprised guards, horrified nobles, a maid tidying up a room, anything. But she led him straight into an elegant garderobe at the edge of the wall, instead. Of course, a direct access to the sewers.
Here's the thing, Bones. I don't think I'd be able to hold myself back if I killed you now. I'd just savor you, bit by bit, all to myself. And that'd make a huge mess, you know. It'd be pretty hard to explain, what with all the guards around and all.
The door opened once again. An albino smith with a vacant expression stood before him.
So I won't be doing the honors this time.
Are you shitting me?
How?
Sorry, pup. It looks like she did have a breath of energy left somewhere. Long enough to carry you back to the ship, I hope.
Aina, no. Please, not you.
Ada's desperate pleas did nothing to deter Aina's advance.
I think I'm going to take a page from your book and roast you with potatoes. It just seems like the right thing to do.
Aina threw her arms back, swinging her maul with unnatural strength.
The boss! Please!
Yes! Sorry. The hunk of metal came down full force on the wolf, sending her flying against a wall. Her body dropped down on the floor with the ugliest splatter of blood trailing behind her.
That hurts, sis.
Aina raised her hammer again, poised to slam it over her sister's head. Ada immediately threw his whole weight against the hammer.
Aina, that's enough! Quit that!
Aina turned her blank face to Ada. Her spirit seemed to snuff into nothing right then and there.
What are you doing, Bones? You should just let her finish me now. I'm never gonna stop hunting you for as long as I live. May as well live with one enemy less.
If I get rid of you now, we're gonna have to deal with a bunch of angry captainless beasts later. Better the evil you know, right?
Wow. Good thinking. You've always been great at coming up with excuses.
Fully uncertain of what the future may hold, Ada lifted Aina's empty body within his arms and ran away from the castle.
Good luck, Bones. I'll catch you later.
I only have Ada's words to go by what happened next. He always swore that nobody would stop him as he ran back all the way through the royal pathway to the Temple of Hera with Aina in tow. But the guards somehow sensed the urgency of his mission and moved to let him pass. I've always known this to be a lie by the amount of blood covering both him and Aina's hammer in his hand, but I let him tell the story as he wished it had happened instead. Zhao was already awake by the time Ada collapsed in the temple gate, and it took all of her strength and Burbif's to drag him back inside. He could only remember rattling out 2 breathless words.
There, here.
Ada came to, hours later, to the sound of furious screaming. It was a voice he knew well.
Show your faces! Give us the murderer and walk out alive, or die together like cockroaches!
Give yourself up, then! No one has spilled more blood over this land than your army!
The murderer. That was supposed to be him, was it? Ada turned his head away from the window, his eye focused and unfocused over the silhouette on the chair next to his bed. He could tell the shape of Zhao's horns against the firelight.
Did you really do it?
Yeah.
Silence.
I see.
It spelled the beginning of the end of a friendship.
I've finished going over my calculations. We're ready to start.
Trying to dispel the blurriness cast upon his sight, Ada blinked hard and then focused again on the fire, obscured by Burbif and another shape he could not recognize.
Can you stand?
Ada lied again. Step after step, the exhausted boy scanned the room as he tottered ahead. He found Aina's lifeless body tucked into a corner and breathed the smallest sigh of relief. Outside on the patio, Itor's riders prepared for battle. Behind them, the entire congregation huddled into a mass of screams of all kinds.
We tried our best to help the people escape, but Hitor wouldn't have it after all. He's made plenty clear what will happen to me if I try to stop him.
Pride before reason. Can't say I don't understand somehow.
Zhao sent an exhausted look in Ada's direction. He could clearly sense all the conflicting emotions over the dark circles in her face. Why was the most pressing question of all, just the one he couldn't answer. Couldn't find it in his heart to betray yet another friend. So he just kept walking towards Burbif instead.
All my hours of tireless labor, all the research and the arguments and the sleepless nights have led to this moment. I present to you, my friends, my latest invention. I call it the Pain Briquette.
Burbif presented them with a terribly named compressed tablet, the size of half his hand.
In the same way alcohol soothes us or enrages us, Or some herbs have anesthetic properties over our skins, allowing us to lose our feeling for a short time. It stands to reason that medicine could affect our sensibility to emotional distress as well.
So, we could have just dumped some beer on her?
Why? Are you listening to yourself? The high water content could have put out the fire altogether, not to mention the way alcohol tends to combust when exposed to a heat source. To think some of you made it to adulthood. It's my fault for forgetting I speak to the unversed.
Damn it, Burby.
I have toiled hours away to create this dry, potato starch-bound tablet that can be consumed easily and narrow down the range of effects to something that should ensure enough numbing as to allow her a chance to process whatever pain brought her to this state.
You think that'll be enough?
No, of course not. It is as you said, friend. Life may be pain, but we need not face it alone. This shall only be a tool in the upcoming battle, but the personal component shall make all the difference in its success. And if it fails, well, at least we can say we tried.
Ada felt compelled to say something, to fight Burbiff's decision. And surely had to be an alternative of sorts, right? Anything that could still his fearful heart? No. No matter what Burbiff had offered, nothing in this world would have made Ada feel at ease. The roe hung his head and nodded.
Then all that's left is adding the briquette directly to the fire. Ada, would you care to do the honors?
The tablet only looked remotely appropriately sized within Ada's enormous hands. He turned to face Zhao, desperate for some kind of permission. She couldn't help the sigh that escaped her lips. Doing her best not to look conflicted, Zhao put a hand on the small of his back and gave him a little encouraging slap.
It's your moment. Show us what you're made of.
Ada carefully balled his hand into a fist. He made a couple of tentative steps toward the forge, and then kneeled down in front of the fire.
Hey, Sip. We ain't got much time now, but I wanted to say again that I'm here for you. Forever and ever. No matter how we sink, I know we're gonna find a way to bring us back to the surface.
Ada reached into the flame, letting the tablet dissolve into the fire, and immediately felt transported elsewhere. A slow twitch of a finger grazing against the sand, the feeling of loose hair strands on his forehead. Ada could tell that his spirit had been returned to him after a journey elsewhere. He could see at last that he had emerged from the fire into the Temple of Hirab, but not the real one, no. It was a slightly distorted world, the world as seen from the other side of a looking glass. A cage of sorts. Ada turned away from the blurred image of his friends and inwards onto the dunes he'd already faced once before. He found her before long. A taciturn silhouette looking disinterested in his direction. So absorbed she was in this that she needed a moment to notice the new presence in front of her.
Oh, Adder. You're back.
Sip, is that really you?
Sep stretched out a hand in front of her own face. She turned it left and right, as if wondering the exact same thing.
The one you that could bear to speak out of all of me, I suppose. It's been hard keeping the others in line lately. Every thought feels like walking through molasses. It was easy enough to speak my mind to you last time. Every part of me agreed that it was madder at you than anything else in the world. But now, well, shame and regret finally caught up to us. Let's leave it at that.
No, we ain't leaving it at that. What's going on? Tell me what happened. How'd you end up like this?
Have you ever felt like you wished the earth would swallow you? Like disappearing from existence at the smallest mistake? Something like a need to torture yourself before anyone else can get their chance to hurt you. What am I saying? I know you have. You're a glutton for punishment. It feels good, doesn't it? To justify mistakes with injury. It's so much easier to think there must be a price to pay for every error, a debt which will eventually be paid through your own suffering.
Sip, what happened?
You know what happened.
Sepp vanished without a word.
That was just a mistake. You didn't mean to.
I'm tired of making mistakes. I'm done pretending that I have the strength to live past them. Do not ask me to return, Adder. I will not be coming back.
Okay, I won't ask you to come back. I won't tell you to please live for me or for anyone. Just let me ask you this. Is this really what you want?
As suddenly as she'd left, Sepp manifested her image again, turned away from the stag.
What I want? If I truly had what I wanted, I would like to stop the world instead of myself. Leave it frozen for just a moment. I would like to walk in the darkest streets at night and steal someone's food, take my clothes off and go swimming in the sea. I would like to live a life free of expectations.
But you've already done all that stuff.
No, not like that. I'm not truly free. If I were, my life wouldn't be like this. I would go out there and start again. I would learn so many things. I would read all the books in the world and have time for them all.
Sepp, no one knows more than you do.
You don't understand. It's not about what I know. It's about who I am. If I could be myself, I would never stay in one place. I'd never spend more than a day with anyone else. No more memories to tear me apart. No one left to remember my mistakes. I would rest so well if I could make everything disappear. I'd know peace at last.
Those are all things you love from life. You're telling me all the things you love and how you'd love to keep doing them forever if you weren't so afraid and hurt. You don't want to die, Sepp. You want to change the way you live.
Sepp blinked. She shut her eyes once, and again, as red filled white. There were no clouds in the sky, but drop after drop precipitated against the ground, like a dam finally breaking deep inside. Uncontrollable tears ran down Sepp's face. She screamed from the bottom of her heart.
Make it go away. Please. Please. I don't know how to live with the pain. Everyone knows. Everyone always knew. I can't live with that. Please.
I can't make the pain go away, and I don't know if anyone can. But I can offer you a hug. I've had a few of those lately, and they felt real nice.
After a moment of hesitation, the image of Sepp reappeared into Ada's arms. He wrapped them around her as softly as he would embrace a baby, afraid he would harm her somehow.
Right? Ain't that great? Just imagine how good they feel with the real deal. Whoa! Whoa! I'm so sad I never got to give you a hug back when I was all nice and round. It'd be a real tragedy if I never get to give you one chubby adder hug.
Are you seriously trying to bribe me right now?
Colour's coming back.
Is it working?
Yes. That's certainly something worth living for, isn't it?
I love you so much, Sepp. No matter what happened in the past, I love the person you are now. I love you with all the good and the bad. I want to spend the rest of my life learning to be me around you.
I love how that sounds.
Oh, Sepp. Come on.
Oh, that ain't fair. You can't just come for my heart like this, ma'am.
Sepp chuckled as she spun around in Ada's arms, brighter and brighter. Soon, a completely different being towered over Ada.
You know, that hat looks really good on you.
Oh my.
You don't think it's too large?
I can't believe you'd ask me something like that. This the real you, then?
No. To seek to find a true self among the many sides that make up a mind is a fool's errand. This is simply one side I can't bear to show to anyone else. When someone sees this side of me, that is all they will think of me after all. They will not remember all the time I've spent being the me I wish to be. They'll only know when the mask slips.
When you talk about it that way, it sounds like you think it's the real you.
I wish it was. To carelessly let out every part of me. To be unsightly in every regard. To be all fangs and nails and mud. That would be everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, being Aina must feel pretty great.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not, not arguing that.
That's a fair point. You love Aina like the terrible disaster she is. Would you love me if I was like her?
Bitch, I already love you.
Sure, I wouldn't mind tidying after you too.
What if I looked like this?
Sepp shifted into an annoyingly perfect imitation of Elbar.
Oh, it's gonna take me a bit to adapt, but I'm sure we can find plenty of ways to...
Oh, what if I turned into a lemon?
I would plant you in my garden and cherish you. And look at your beautiful lemon tree self approximately every 10 seconds. But please don't turn into a lemon.
Sepp laughed so hard that her stomach would have hurt in any other situation.
I thought... I really thought reining in my emotions was the brave thing to do. All this time.
Forcing yourself to do a thing you don't like to prove you're all grown up ain't being brave. It's called being childish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being...
Jessie pressed her lips together and looked away.
Fine, I admit it. That was childish of me. Now wipe that smirk right off your face, jerk.
Jerk? Hey, I'm not the one that goes around setting people on fire.
A jerk and a guilt tripper. But one I love nonetheless.
Their hands grazed against each other, incorporeally.
You want to get us out of here? There's a bunch of folks looking forward to meeting you outside. Heard you're Yasif or something?
Will I be good enough to help them?
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out with you.
Hand in hand, they walked out of her mind. Reality seeped into Sepp's world, leaving only after-images in Ada's mind. When he came to, he was lying on the ground. Zhao stood by his side, gaping at the towel-clad figure in front of her. Definitely not naked, everyone, definitely not. So say the narrator. Definitely not naked, she has a towel on. You can see it.
So I guess this is the famous forge.
The gazelle took a few steps around Ada's workplace. She settled for an only sooty on one side bedsheet to cover her figure.
And you must be... Zhao?
My son?
Oh, tiny gay goat noises. Sepp barely grazed her hands against Zhao's ear tips, leaving a trace of char behind.
Well, aren't you adorable? I love hearing you stammer all over the place. Thank you for taking such good care of me, priestess.
Ada had to clamber forward and hold on to Zhao, lest the poor goat fall dead on her feet.
You never said she was so...
Shh, it's okay. I know.
Oh, hey, friend. It's good to see you again. You're quite literally glowing.
Sepp stared at Burbif with an unreadable expression. Then she turned her head towards the golem by his side.
If you'd dared wake me up in that, I would have murdered you all.
Oh.
But... thank you for taking care of me, too.
Sepp turned her face toward the motionless creature laying a few steps behind them in the corner.
This is not the time to sleep, Pipsqueak.
Sepp bent down and put her lips against Aina's. Little by little, colour returned to the albino smith's cheeks. Literally woke her up with a smooch. Yo! She's back!
There. That should keep you going for a while.
Oh, look at her face. Oh, look at her face. I would let her kill me. Aina took a hand to her lips. Once she could put two and two together, she turned redder than a tomato, trying to lunge at Sepp out of sheer embarrassment. Sepp just smirked in return.
You've all given me more than I can ever repay. I don't think I can make amends anymore, but I can atone at least.
No, you don't gotta do any of that. We just gotta find a way to get.
Sepp let a wistful smile crawl onto her face.
Adder, I don't want to change the way I live. I want to change the world.
Sepp's form shifted into a little comet headed for the roof. Everyone else ran onto the patio. Sepp could hear it, somewhere deep in her soul. The prayers. Oh, you missed nearly everything, Hannah. I'm gonna have to let someone else catch you up because that's gonna be a couple paragraphs. Cornered on the patio, huddled among the clamoring and the screams, prayers driven by fear, they called for their Jasif. And they all drew silent when they came face to face with her image, newly formed and clad in nothing but a sheet blowing in the wind, looking straight out of a sculpture. The Jasif rose over the temple and roared. It was a deafening sound, one Ada could have never imagined she was capable of making.
I am Jasif, and today the Zaxxerat rises again!
The Jasif morphed again into a creature the likes of which the world had never seen before, still would. Don't judge me, you would too. I know what you're like, chat. I know what half of you are like. You can't say shit. All Ada could think as he saw the woman changing shapes in front of him, all flames and fangs and fear, was hunger. The transformation struck terror into the hearts of Itor's band, but he still raised his sword in the air.
The Yasif blesses us today! She shall lead us to victory!
The band fell back together, screaming in unison as they watched the Jasif fly away into the skies, putting on a show for those that waited below. Zhao didn't miss a beat.
They're distracted. This is our best chance to guide everyone to safety before the battle starts.
You and Bearber take care of that. Think you got enough juice left to handle the riders, Aina?
Of course she does. Remember who you're talking about.
You do that then.
Aina punched one hand against the other. Piece of cake.
Ada, aren't you coming with us?
You go ahead. The show ain't over for me yet.
In the middle of the panicking crowds, Zhao and Ada shared a hug.
We'll be waiting for you.
Please don't.
The sky cracked with electricity, roused by a rising star that crossed the sea of red gales forming over Heirloom. Embers rained over the city, turning to dust before they could harm the army besieging the temple. The Jasif landed on the roof with the delicacy of a dandelion, but the image of Grace was dispelled with yet another roar. Her maws opened with a trail of smoke, and soon they filled the air with a pillar of fire so hot that the air glowed white where it touched her body. Even if the army hadn't been fighting for a dead king in a kingdom of uncertain future, even if they had been in their best possible shape, they would have still fled at the sight of this ungodly creature. Every single battalion surrounding the temple fell out of line and rooted, far more scared of the divine punishment cast upon them than the life of shame that awaited them for deserting.
Iggy.
The Jasif shut her smouldering mouth in what should have been a triumphant grin, but ended as a bitter grimace. Her gaze fell back on the throngs skittering below her. Unlimited power! God damn it. Don't ruin the bit.
Why? I'm here, walking the skies. It's finally within my grasp. I have the power to destroy all the people who looked down upon me. I could lay waste to the entire city and build anew. Isn't this what you always wanted?
No, Red, don't forget that Sepp woke up Aina to her personality by giving her a kiss. That's an important aspect too, the girl kissing. Don't forget the girl kissing. The Jasif looked at her claws. She opened and closed them.
I guess that I won't ever shake my reins off.
Lost in her own mind, perched up on the gate, the Jasif didn't notice the approach of a single warrior towards her. He removed his helmet, for how could he keep his face hidden? Her presence was such that he barely managed to keep his mouth closed.
What an awe-striking sight you are. It is you, is it not? The Regicide. No other creature in the world could hope to match the king's power. I wish I could escape as well, but seeing you now, I understand. At last, the reason I was brought to this world. My ultimate purpose is to erase your wicked beauty from Dakna. You are my destiny!
You truly are a fantastic actor, Sir Askadath. It takes talent to improvise like that.
You know my name, Beast?
I do. I've thought so many times of how I'd rid myself of you one day. And yet, my heart drops, thinking of being apart from you on our final act. You've always dreaded to dream, but I hope you'll make an exception today. I shall be a nightmare just for you. Come, let's write together a spectacular end.
At thee, monster!
The Jasif threw her claws over Elbar, stealing the knight off the ground as he lifted his blade to strike her down.
Sepp, get your tail down here this instant! And you, put that sword down, you dingus! She ain't done nothing to you!
What? Adder, do you mind? We're kind of in the middle of something.
That's right, one-eyed scoundrel. Use this chance to remove yourself from my sight. I don't have time to best you in battle. It is time I serve my kingdom and my liege.
What about serving your heart?
The Jasif and Elbar, frozen in place, exchanged a look.
Are you proposing to me?
Is this the birth of Adelthor?
No! No! Lynn, calm down! Elbar sinned. Don't encourage her.
No, I mean, listen to your heart. What's the right thing to do?
My heart clamors for vengeance!
Adder sighed so hard he felt his lungs turn inside out.
Fine, you got me. I am the Regis.
Regigigas.
It was me. It's my fault the king is dead.
Silence, like a thundering storm.
You liar! No, it isn't! You're just some peasant!
You really think that matters? This rube here watched the king die. Just like I punched Bearber and I stole a bride to be you don't even remember having. There's no arguing that a peasant has done all those things, just like Lord Thumar knew I could.
How dare you speak of Thumar? Who do you think you are to put my father's name in your filthy mouth?
Adder signed Sepp to put Elbar down. After a few tense moments, she rolled her eyes and did so.
I am no one, sir. Your father, though? He was truly something else. As a knight, and as a man. Never met a deer more willing to give this shovelhands a chance to prove he could do anything he set his mind to. As long as he could live another day. I was a soldier at his command. But I only fought, if you could call it that, till the day he died, and no more. Because that night, I ran in the opposite direction of the fort and never dared drag my ass back. You can go ahead and add desertion to my list of crimes. Don't!
Hi, yes, sorry, make way. Ex-best friend / landlord / manager / herald / lawyer coming through.
Yolf, I thought you'd left the city.
You said you had to take care of your sick sister.
Yes, thank you. I think she's doing better now. Aren't you doing better, sis?
Suck my hoof, Geoff.
Yes, she's fine. Now it's Adder I'm worried about. As much as I've tried, oh, how I've longed to leave him behind with all of my teachings. I just can't stop myself when I see him digging himself into deeper and deeper holes. I shall be the one to...
No! No, gosh darn it, yo! I'm tired
Oh
of
my
letting
gosh,
y'all do all the
Sean.
talking for me. I got him out. I can stand up for myself just fine.
That's
Same
a
thing
big
I've done my
raid.
whole
Hello.
life. I didn't cross half the world and made it to this city alive with half a face just out of good luck.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Iggy Maid. I'm a big gay lizard maid, and we're playing the Hayseed Knight, which is a very queer visual novel / choose your own adventure kind of game. And massive spoiler warning, because we're in the freaking ending here. Would highly recommend this game, by the way. You know, support your local indie devs. Well, not that local, but I don't know. I'm trying to make this a thing, but I'm a bit flustered because 162 people is a lot of people. Hi, how you doing? Buy this game, it's great. Leave a nice review. Make someone's day. You're Spanish indie devs living in Japan, yeah. Play the trailer. Oh, that might give me time to calm down. Here's a raid trailer, so you know what you're in for. If you like the vibes, feel free to give a follow. I am a master of gun fu. Oh, you smell guilty. Whoa!
Oh my god.
Ooh, funny rock. Touch it. Lick it. Put it in your mouth. I love weenies. Fire. Oh dear. Oh dear. I thought we said controlled burn. I may be very gay. Yeah! Woohoo! Uh-oh. Yeah! Die! See? Ow! Deja vu! I've just been in this car before. Ah! So you can't get me now. Right? Whoa! No! Hello! Grab smash! Whoa! He knocked his whole body off! Consider yourself pregnated. And welcome back. Reb is a great driver, and I definitely don't have a knife to my throat. But yes, welcome everyone. Hope you all had a lovely stream over on Sean's channel. But you definitely came at the end of this game. Oh gosh, hecky. Yeah, I deserve that cost, thank you. Right, so we're going to continue this now. We are in the final chapter, in probably what is the final scenes. So, final spoiler warning, if you do want to jet, I'm not going to hold it against you. But I do very, very highly recommend the Hayseed Knight, available on Steam. If you like gay deer and girl kissing, you know, it's very good. And very firm statements about, what's the words I'm looking for? You see, this is why I wish I was more intelligent in this kind of area. What it means to question your privilege and place in the world, in a world that is unjust and unfair to the minorities of it, or something. There's probably a more eloquent way to put that, but it's a good game. Look, I'm very lizard bimbo, okay? Girls kiss, I'm happy. Someone said eat the rich at some point. It was cool. Right, okay, we're going to get right back into it now. So thank you again, Sean. Hope you have a lovely day. I'm gonna replay this line, though.
No! No, gosh darn it, yo! I'm tired of letting y'all do all the talking for me. I got him out. I can stand up for myself just fine. Same thing I've done my whole life. I didn't cross half the world and made it to this city alive with half a face just out of good luck.
Adder, wait! I didn't mean what I said about being done with you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. You don't know what you're saying.
I know darn well what I'm saying. I'm telling the truth. This buck's gonna die either way, right? Least he could do is stop dragging people down with him.
That's far too noble a sentiment for a peasant. But what do you hope to achieve telling me this now? Are you trying to appeal to my compassion?
No, sir. I could never hope to ask for any pity from your family. Not after I got your pa killed, too.
You mean to tell me that you murdered my father?
That's what I thought for a long time, but now I hear that to kill and to let someone die are completely different things.
Ada made a space for himself, amongst all the gods and freaks in the city.
No, sir. Your pa died protecting a two-eyed coward that fell asleep on a watchtower. That coward thought he would carry his banner back to Thumar's sons to rid himself of his guilt. But he sold half of it for a plate of boiled peas and a full canteen. Lord Thumar loved his sons more than anything in this world. He told me how you'd been sent to Heirloom, how his heart wept for Barabeth as well. And as I held his hand in his last moments, he whispered how much he lamented what he'd done to you.
Elbar staggered back. He looked at Ada, deep in disbelief.
That's the one line that stuck with me as I made my way through the steps, hoping to get a chance to say all of this. But when I got here, they shut every door in my face. I wasn't important enough to see you. Only knights got that sort of privilege. I was broke,
why you wanted to be a knight?
And lonely. But I stayed, because I got a message to deliver. Until I realized it was impossible. A buck like me'd never amount to anything in his life. I may as well just have never existed at all. His last will was wasted on some hayseed. Ain't nothing left for me to say, sir. You can tighten another noose around my neck, or you can just cut it right now if you please. But I'm the one who let two people die. These folk had nothing to do with it.
Elbar walked towards Ada, his chin high and his sword firmly clasped between his hands.
Rise, Sir Upperfield. It is you, isn't it? Such a noble heart cannot be hidden by the villainous costume you wear. Not when even this godly sight acknowledges you.
Oh, yes. How could I not recognize Sir Adderson? Spotlight stealer that he is.
Ada tried to wink at Sep, but all he managed was a blink.
We have caused each other so much grief. And yet your devotion to my father and your ideals didn't waver in the slightest. You made your choice on how to serve Akathor, and you stood by it to the end. Were that I was half the knight you are.
When you're the second person to leave and miss, like, half the finale.
You and all the Bahans in this temple are hereby banished from Heirloom. Do not return and we shan't give chase.
Say
I did warn you all.
We gotta leave? But we won!
I warned you all yesterday. We were very close to the end. You'll have to catch up on the VOD, I suppose. Arrived late. So someone went AFK. I got a bit confused. Don't worry about it. My mistake.
I could forgive the many offenses you've cast on me and on this city. But the future of this kingdom is uncertain, and I know the rest of the lords won't be so kind.
I will be getting the VOD up for this near immediately after the end of the stream, assuming I remember. Feel free to send me a reminder to do so.
We can't guarantee the next king will make good on this promise. So I'll stay then, to ensure that is the case.
Previously lost among the crowd, Burbif walked out of the gate. He let all eyes fall on him, and proudly made his way towards his brother.
Sir Upperfield, you bested me so easily, and you didn't even need to show all your cards. Now, what am I saying? You didn't even need to draw your sword.
Elbar immediately knelt down, unable to hide the happiness on his face any other way.
I will do as you wish, my liege.
Ada reached out towards Burbif, putting a hand on his shoulder to turn him back.
You sure this is what you want?
It's high time I stopped running, my friend. The stars I was born under. They shall serve to bring about their own demise. We will live to see a day where we're equals.
Right as Burbif pulled away from his whisper, Elbar surrounded Ada in a tight embrace that nearly fractured his ribcage all over again.
Thank you for lifting this weight off my heart!
The group melee against Aina was completely futile, and it only served to entertain her. Bandit after bandit just fell exhausted before her, without so much as landing a hit.
This is only a distraction. Riders, regroup!
But Itor's realization came too late. Even though he understood this, he still ran from corner to corner of the temple, barking orders and watching desperately as everyone turned past him. He'd lost all credibility among the people who simply wished to leave. The only ones that walked toward him were Zhao, Ada, and a small contingent of rather displeased gazelles.
It's over, y'all. Time to get walking.
Hey, madame, good to see you.
No, this can't end so easily. This is the moment to fight. This is the day we change history.
Read the room, guy. Come on, we get to leave with our lives.
What are our miserable lives worth next to those of all that will follow? I refuse to give up. Where is the Yasif? She was supposed to lead us to...
Victory? A lofty goal for an army of drafted corpses.
A gazelle-sized and shaped Jasif strolled in, clasping her hands behind her back. Now the people on the patio didn't know her visage, and her dress wasn't quite up to her standards. Her aura of royalty persisted.
I have heard a lot about you, Idor. We share the same goals, and I know that, out of everyone here, you would be the most capable of achieving them. But I will not have you sacrificing innocent people to my name. Today is not the day we make our stand.
No! It's now or never, can't you see? They're only letting us escape because they're terrified of you! Why won't you use your power?
Sep hung her head low, unable to find the right words to reply. Her power? How could she ever bear to use it and stand tall among mortals, when she already carried the weight of too many corpses on her conscience? She finally whispered, removed of all spirit once again.
Because I wouldn't be able to live with what happened next.
Itor shook his head in disbelief. He turned to look at Zhao, desperate for guidance.
Priestess, say the word. What will you have us do?
The soldier that flees lives on to fight another battle.
Itor clenched his teeth so hard they seemed about to break. He let out a scream, turned their back on them, and leapt onto his tree.
You are all the same in the end! Promising the world until the real fight comes along, and then you cower in your contentment! I will not wait for change at the pace it suits the people stepping on our necks, just because you're afraid of dirtying your hands!
Itor shook Aram's reins, turning his ride so as to face the people remaining.
No kings or gods will free you! Follow me if you understand that much!
With this, Itor rode away into the city. Most of his band and the most ardent fighters among the civilians left with him, never to be seen again in the congregation. Only a few people were close enough to Zhao to hear her one-sided promise to him.
I won't let it end here.
Ada turned to look at the Temple of Hirap one last time. He watched his friends marching among the crowd.
Shall we go then?
Ada nodded, with his head low. Night in the steppes, broken only by the bonfire, the moon and the stars, and the huge celebration making the languid crickets wish they didn't have neighbors.
Sing your woes, my friend. Sing them loud and clear.
Sing and share a cup. The pain sinks in a beer.
I can't believe they're still singing.
Tell me about it.
Geoff and Kubsop shared a surprised look.
Come on, at least we're all together. And we have the Yasif with us.
With her, you mean?
Zhao and Sep were lying down on a rug on their own little corner, speaking in hushed Basaktet.
So, what's life like up there? I've always wanted to see Akde Moisirat.
It's beautiful. The nights are long in Bleak Night, and the day never ends in Dawnsoon. But life is harsh, and the sun is always cold. So much so that you could die of exposure if you're not careful, even at home.
Oh? I think I read something about ibexes taking off their clothes and snuggling together to keep warm.
During blizzards, I suppose. It's a good way to raise someone's temperature when they're freezing, my son.
Fancy that. I'm starting to get kind of cold.
Mm-hmm. Zhao thoughtlessly reached out for Sep's arm and started rubbing it warmer.
We should find you something with sleeves, then.
The goat only realized what she was doing when she saw Sep's surprised face in front of her.
I'm so sorry. I'll get you a blanket.
An extremely flustered Zhao jumped to her feet and scrambled away.
Sleeves? Really?
Eka?
Don't worry. I'm sure she's heard worse.
Zhao's mouth opened and closed senselessly. Eka drew her hand away from Aina, just as a compartment snapped shut on the smith's chest. A what? What? You can't just give me this line. A compartment on her chest? The tall wolf put a finger over her lips.
Shh. Don't mind me. I just wanted to drop by for a moment to wish my sister a safe journey. Say bye to Bones for me when he's not sulking, yeah? I don't think he'll be happy to see me now.
I don't think golem's the right word. Possibly cyborg. Or android. I don't know. I don't think golem has implications in this world. Well, and in the real world. But, like, I don't think that's What? She's still best girl, don't get me wrong. Nothing could change how I feel about Aina. I still think she's fabulous and wonderful. And could kill me in one hit.
Are you sure you can't stay for one drink?
It wouldn't work out, kid. I'd eat you whole before you knew it.
Eka patted Zhao's shoulder, then slunk away into the night.
I was counting on that.
Of course you were, Zhao. Do I think I could parry Aina? I would try. Look, succeed or fail, I'd be happy. Aina let a heavy hand fall on Zhao's other shoulder. She flashed her an ill-boding smile, showing every last fang in her mouth.
My devotion to the Joseph remains unbreakable after all.
I need emotional backup, Adder. Your new friend is too cute.
Oh no, I'm not gonna go play third wheel with y'all again. Zhao gets terrifying about it.
Can you blame her? It's not every day you get to meet your goddess.
That's the least of her worries now.
Adder sank a little more into himself. Sep leaned forward as well, wrapping her arms around his neck.
Don't just wander off on your own like that. I haven't had my fill of you yet.
I just needed some fresh air.
We aren't precisely lacking in that around here. It's a tad too fresh, if you ask me.
You'll get used to it.
Like you with taverns and parties?
Just about.
There was a pause.
What's on your mind, Adderson?
She didn't need to ask, but she still did, and that somehow made all the difference. Adder's mouth clicked open. He looked haggard when he spoke.
He was already dead when I found him.
Oh.
What?
He lied about all the last words.
Lord Thumor. I arrived too late. He'd already been trampled to death when I found him.
He lied the whole time. Adder could not bring himself to look at Sep's face as he said this. Having mustered all his courage to come this far, now he felt like the world was crashing in on him. The poor boy shut his eye and hid his head between his arms, waiting for some sort of divine punishment. For a minute or so there was no follow-up, only silence. A silence of sorts, given the festivities in the background. Not a single word was uttered, not even a chuckle, rare as that was. Sep rested her elbows on the railing, putting some distance between them.
That doesn't mean he didn't think what you said.
Ain't no one can ask him now.
And that's a good thing.
Sep looked up toward the stars in the sky, the Hatsa running in all sorts of colors.
Only the living remain in this world, loving and hurting and dying with every beat in our hearts, desperate for the freedom to be changed to the affection of others. You'll only know who you are through the eyes of someone else, remember?
His story was yours as much as it was theirs. You are the person that wrote his final act into one of love.
Ada sniffed.
So I'm a liar, but I'm kind.
You are a good man. I love that about you.
A lump formed in Ada's throat upon hearing her words. The sob wanted to escape from his chest, but he did his best to hold it back. He sank to the ground, face buried in his knees.
You're so unfair.
Cries and chuckles soon started mixing into one another. Ada hung his head deeper and deeper, holding on to the railings lest he fall to the ravine below them. Sepp crouched down next to him and planted a little kiss on his snout.
You love me.
I do.
Her hand moved to his cheek. Once more, though, with his implicit permission this time, he planted a kiss on his lip.
Ah! No, not the cliff!
Aina, what are you doing to Gyoff?
Aina, he already apologized! Stop!
Aina's about to Heihachi Gyoff off the cliff. Ada and Sepp turned their faces sharply away from each other. Aina was lifting Gyoff over her head, stomping her way to the edge of the mesa they were resting on.
Well, you know what they say. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Someone better make sure Gyoff don't get killed too dead.
Killed too dead.
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't want that.
Oh, definitely not.
Sap.
Fine. I'll handle Aina.
Say what? No, you take care of Gyoff.
Aina, time to refill your batteries.
Sep, what do we say about personal space? Are you listening to me? Hey, Sep!
Oh, gosh. And so we reach the end.
Oh, wait, but this is not where the story ends! The knight's banishment is literally where the Song of the Upperfield begins!
This is the story of how he became Adicind of the Upperfield. You didn't have that.
You spent all that time on a prologue?!
Lynn slams her face against the table.
I can't believe you do this to me.
Yes, you can. Come now, it's time to send you back home. Lynn hides her face between her arms. I have to strain my ears to hear the next part.
I need a home to return to first.
I figured. Her indistinct, angry mumbling sounds a little like the start of a sob.
Stay with me until I fall asleep.
Yeah. The moon sails low among the stars. I still have a little while left. It's been a lifetime since I last helped put a child to sleep.
How many of those have you spent wandering around all on your own?
I don't know. I told you I don't do time. I don't want to remember all these nimious, minute confinements of erosion you flesh bags insist of keeping track of.
That's really ironic, you know.
I could take the easy route out and pretend I'm just here because you asked me to share the story.
Of course. I am Omalin DP of Askedas, all-powerful Sephi.
There you go. Can't believe you made me do this.
Yes, you can.
A short pause. Lynn slouches down on the table, but her eyes are still fixed on me.
Hey, will you do something for me?
What is it, little one?
Will you keep the...
Kid, go away. You ever hear about personal space, kid? Scram! I will throw you off this bridge if you don't move this instant. Don't think I can't tell what you're trying to do, you little fusty lugs. Get out of my face already.
Shave my horns and call them tinder! I knew it! I knew it! You were telling the truth! How's that even possible? You'd have to be, like, so old!
You really make me feel like it. Don't you have anything better to do today, kid? Parents to annoy to death, perhaps?
Oh, don't you dare change the topic! You unreservedly, unquestionably, and unconditionally have to tell me the story if the one I know is so wrong!
Do I now? And why would that be, pray tell?
Pshaw! To think you were acting so high and mighty just 1 moment ago! You call yourself an expert on the night, and yet you fail to see the answer to such obviousness? A joke is what you are!
I have a staff and it'll hurt when I hit you with it.
It is fate itself that has brought
Deluded
you to
now.
me, O Wanderer! For I am, on my own life, I swear, a direct descendant of the Knight from the Tale!
Gasp. Sure you are.
Wait! Don't go! I'm not lying, see? Look at this beautiful blue fabric! 100% certified linen carefully passed down for generations! Part of his cape!
It truly is 100% certified. I don't care. Bye.
Nuh-uh! Look! It's so old! Look!
No, it can't be.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? Get your filthy snout away from my family relics!
It still smells like him.
It does? Whoa!
Not so deluded, kid?
Just so we're clear, that's a woe that falls somewhere between a woe what and a woe that's really gross and I'm thinking I should run. You know what kind of woe I'm talking about?
Why do you even sound like... No. Won't let the delusions of some random street shrub get to me ever again. I'm leaving.
I am not deluded, and I am not a street shrub. My name is Omalin Dibili of Askadath, and I am heir to the lineages of both the Knight of the Upper Field and the royalty of Basaxarat.
It's so old. Look. What's with this sassy lost child? Omalin something. Omalindibili. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of a mouthful. Just Lynn is fine.
Lynn of Askadath.
Descendant of Adderson of Askadath. And you are?
Ugh, I'm so very tired. Come on, we have a long day ahead of ourselves. Moments pass in silence, but perhaps it's hours instead. I would not be able to guess how long. My first instinct is to check if Lynn is truly asleep. Perhaps I could create more time for myself. A different excuse to stay just another handful of minutes around her. As much as I try to avoid it, I now know too much about this fragile creature sitting by my side. I'm invested in her well-being. Once again, I've been dragged back into mortal affairs. I'm sorry, Lynn. I don't have a choice. The moon starts its descent into the horizon. The sun will find me once more, no matter what I want. No, I can't stay. I have a letter to deliver before that. With my hat and my staff in tow, I stop one last time in front of the entrance. I adjust my new blue scarf over my neck and nod. You steal it? He's too good to be related to you. He had a giant statue? But still, please, watch over my friend.
The night ends, whether we want it to or not, and the sun rises. This is the inescapable order of life. The light finds us, sometimes as a gentle caress, and sometimes blasting us right in the face. Oh, curtains, curtains. What? Where am I? Show your faces, fiends! A lonely child in an unfamiliar crypt. Nothing remained of the night but a cramped hand, a carefully bound book, and a trail of sleepy slobber connecting said child to the table. Even her beloved scarf was gone. Ah, that's right! My book! So it was the goddess of inspiration that took me! Ah, magnum opus, masterwork of mine! Ugh, I can't believe I've gone and kidnapped myself just to write you. The headmistress is going to kill me.
You forgot the narrator.
The headmistress is going to kill me! Picture a young gazelle running through the back alleys of Slander District, jumping through empty lots, run-down houses, and little stone benches, for she knew full well that she was to meet her destiny. Miss Vita is going to have me cleaning bodies all week! A destiny which most likely included a brush and a lot of brown.
Ew.
I don't want to spend a week dealing with crap!
Oh, you are so related to Ada, aren't you? Hello.
And so, as is to be expected from someone not heeding the wise advice, look where you're going, the young gazelle soon met the first obstacle on the way back to the orphanage. A tree.
Miss Omalendibi?
Jovial Macadea, not Ilagrab.
Yes? The gate was blocked by a huge Macadeer. No, two, in fact. The smaller one was simply trying his darndest to blend in behind the older one.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Constable Adaga Buntalos of the Academy of Heirloom. This is my little brother
Aina
and my
did not
secretary
have the
in
curse
training,
of being
Umbo.
forgotten. That I don't know how you got that. That wasn't a thing. The only reason Sepp forgot Aina in the flashbacks is because Pertok wiped her memory.
Hi. The shy sapling nodded his head politely from behind his sister. Am I in trouble? I swear he's going to come back eventually. I just...
Oh, no, child. You are not in trouble. Quite the opposite, in fact, unless you're particularly averse to good news. This is highly irregular, but
I don't
a certain
remember
person of
people
standing
forgetting
who decided
Aina.
to remain anonymous for your sake and mine, vouched
Other than-
ardently for your ingenious character and good nature. And I must say, I have been able to witness your creativity myself.
Burbif loses memory of Aina. He did claim to not know what Ada was talking about when Ada said, "Oh yeah, you were trying to get all up in a business and calling her a golem." Wait, shit, then maybe you're right. Alright, I guess I'm wrong. I guess I was just in such constant contact with her, or... Burbif even forgot about the note, yeah.
The young child nearly ran for it when Adarga pointed her head towards a series of graffiti, boldly decorating the wall that led to the orphanage. That wasn't me.
Really? Then I guess perhaps we ought to find the artist behind such works to inform them that they have been made recipient of the Burbith Grant for the literary advancement of the youths.
He did also suffer massive cranial trauma. That is true. Twice. Yeah, and Ada being with Aina every day and then going to see Sepp pretty much every day until the point where he didn't and then forgot Sepp, which launched a whole part of this story into motion.
I'm sorry, the what?
Look, I'm not the most media literate, okay? When things are subtle, they tend to go over my head. If you're looking for like a video essay on the intricacies of this plot, I am not your iguana. I'm here to enjoy the girl kissing and the yelling at capitalism.
Umbo, would you be so kind?
You are formally invited to join the Academy of Heirloom for the pursuit of the higher education of your choice. Free of charge, should you choose to accept to benefit from this grant.
I'm pretty sure I screamed. Little old me! Taken into the intellectual elites of the country by what looked entirely like Providence. I ran to pack what little I had, And I may have even had time to sign a few select people to get eaten by beasts while Umbo and Adarga weren't looking. My name is Omalin Devi of Askadath, and I'm going to be a writer! My time in the academy was one I'll never forget. Fresh off the streets, surrounded by snotty brats who had just wandered out of their parents' mansions, I defended the weak and stole from the less weak with my sharp wits and a particularly sharp stylus. I wish the teachers had been able to appreciate my subversive charm and my ingenuity as much as Adarga did, but it seemed, alas, like I was doomed to have what she so kindly referred to as
a proclivity towards irreverence.
I only got expelled once, so I still think I did fairly well, all things considered.
Only once.
And this is my magnum opus. A thoroughly researched fanfiction detailing the life of the Knight of the Upperfield. This is my headcanon. No hate, original characters, do not steal.
Lynn, shut up.
Wow, Lynn! This is really detailed. It must have taken you ages to make. What were your sources?
What? Sources? Aina ate them?
Believable.
Life and Misadventures of the Inventive Knight of the Upperfield, or the Hayseed Knight, was soon being published and sung countrywide as a little gem of a parody. Almost no one asked for my head. I should have been happy, right? But no, I didn't make it up. I swear I had a source. It's...
He's forgotten.
The more I thought about it, the less sense any of it made. My mind wandered back to that night I spent writing as if possessed. The fever dream that made this happen so many times over the years. But I found no answer inside my own memories. Why don't the words work?
Oh, she's a fair bit older here now.
Burned out beyond redemption and crushed by the publisher's endless demands that I give up the historically accurate bit and just make a sequel already, I plunged deep into the depths of my work, wondering what could have ever been good about it. As I opened the original manuscript, I came face to face with it one last time. The owner of my words, mocking me. The silhouette with the hat and the staff that I'd come to identify as a portrait of all my headaches. The last reminder of that fateful night 7 years before. Adarga always said that someone vouched for my creativity, my intelligence, and all the things the years had stolen from me, to the point I could no longer see them within myself or anything I made. There was someone else with me that night. There definitely was. Come on, you have access to your sister's documents, right? There must be something about the person who made me write the book.
I can't betray her confidence like that.
She made a vow of anonymity.
You go from booming to like...
But you didn't, and that was like forever ago. I bet the contract or the oath or whatever it was has expired already. Come on, I'm not going to do anything reckless, I promise.
Well...
That same night, I recklessly packed my things and ran for it, leaving behind my studies, my burgeoning career, and a string of broken hearts.
You probably made that last bit up.
But I just couldn't help it. There's nothing that makes me angrier than a broken promise. And you didn't even come close to making good on yours. You tell the story, and I write. That was our deal when we met. And a promise is a promise, you crook. I'll find you. No matter what. You're not going to get away from me so easily, boss.
Ending 2. Song of the Upperfield. Is that good? Refusing to go with Illigrab and by taking the blame. Okay. And she did call them boss. Oh, that felt like a good ending though. That was very, very satisfying of an ending. Ah. Gosh, hecky. Good game. Good game. If you want to see the other ending, you're going to have to play the game yourself. I'm going to see the other endings in my own time. Yeah, buy the game. If you've enjoyed me playing this, do not tip me. Take that money that you would use to tip me or buy whatever off my wish list or whatever. You take that money, you buy this game instead. That would mean a lot more to me right now than you
won't
giving
get away
me
with
anything.
this. My lord ordered this research destroyed.
That's... What's his name? The merchant. Oh gosh, I've forgotten his bloody name. T something. Something with a T in it. Taylid. Yes, that was it. Thank you. Terrible with names. Tay. Yeah, that was it.
Haven't you heard? The kingdom is deep in debt. I've come to collect our dues.
I own you! All of you.
Gwa. The beasts?
No one will save you now.
Kofi supporter just
Little
tipped
knight.
£15.
Oh, no!
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't do that right now! Oh, you could have bought the game with that. You really could have. You know, I'm just going to gift the game to someone now. You know what? Yeah, no, I'm going to do that right now, out of spite. Out of spite, I'm going to bring up my library. I'm going to open the store page for Hayseed Knight. I'm going to see that 7 of my friends have this game in their wish list, and I'm just going to give it to one of them. At random. Haha. Add to cart. No, not for my account. For a GIF. There we go. Who has this on that? You have it on your wish list. There you go. Eat this. That's all my gift messages. Eat this. Right, as soon as possible, via Steam client. God damn it, I've got to relog in to do this. Hang on. Hang on while I relog in to Steam real quick. So I can authorize a gift purchase. You know, this sucks though, because if they then choose to review it, it doesn't count. Because gift reviews on Steam don't fucking count. Thanks, Steam. Right. Signed in. Confirm the gift. I agree to Steam's whatever the heck. There you go. There. I used that money to gift someone else the game. Thank you for these 7 wonderful years. Maxi, that's the developer. It's over, isn't it? Hardly feels like it. The Hayseed Knight was my first game ever. Chapter 1 marked the start of my career in games, and these 7 years of development will stay with me for the rest of my life. It would mean the world to me if you could take a moment to leave a review on Steam, if you enjoyed the game. And if you still crave more The Hayseed Knight, you can come hang out in Discord, follow me for extra sketches and rambling, or wait anxiously for the art book to come out. God damn it, who's calling me now? Uzi, again. I didn't know there was an art book coming out. I'm totally gonna wishlist that.
Test of your reflexes.
Does the follow me open up Blue Sky? Oh no, it opens up X. Ew. No, let's put their Blue Sky into the Discord. There you go. If you want to follow Maxi on Blue Sky. And one more shout out for the game itself. There you go. Yeah, they post a lot of their art. And yeah, Hayseed Knight, available for £16.75 or your regional equivalent. Show some love to your indie devs. Really makes their day, promise you that. Thank you for picking up my game. I hope playing Ada's story brought you as much joy as I felt making it. It really did. This was a wonderful game. Thank you, Maxi. Good game. I need to add that to the completed list. Let's bring that up. And then once we have a little cooldown from that, we will be switching games because we're about halfway through the stream. Right, does it go? We'll go under H. Because I've always ignored the as a part of titles in my completed list when organizing alphabetically. I'll put it in H. Where is it? There, right under Halo. The Hayseed Knight.
Iggy.
November this year. Added. There we go. Put it in H. I did. Human adder. Yes, you could see human adder. I kind of really want fan art of Greb and Aina just getting up to mischief. Don't know what kind of mischief, but just, you know, assorted miscellaneous mischief. That was a Simpsons reference? Well, that one went over my head, unfortunately. We're not wrapping up, Uzi. This isn't the end of the stream. It is the end of the Hayseed Knight. Blue Sky says they, he. Yeah, they're transmasc. They're very open about that. And he's been lovely to chat to on Discord because, you know, had a little chat now and then about the game. He's like, I love Aina. Maxi, if you're watching this, thank you for putting up with my fangirling over Aina. Right, that's going to be the end of this VOD, though. So, goodbye to YouTube. I'll see you in the next VOD of whatever it is you choose to watch. Please watch my VODs. Okay, I love you, bye.